Thank you. Madam Chair, there are times in politics when circumstances come together to bring into stark relief the choices that we face. And today is such a day. So I'm very glad to be having this debate today because there are three important things happening in South Africa that we should take careful note of. Firstly, we are here considering a division of revenue which imposes very severe cuts on provincial governments, particularly in the areas of health and education. On the same day, an investigation by the BBC has revealed the horror and gross human rights abuses taking place in the Eastern Cape Health Department as hospitals collapse under the weight of years of corruption, mismanagement, and cadre deployment. And third, the Treasury is today required to give a letter of guarantee that it will again bail out the defunct and bankrupt SAA. Three things, all on one day, all connected and all related. Every decision in government is a choice between often conflicting priorities. So if you want to see what a government really believes in and what their priorities are, look at the choices they make. Today's bill cuts 2.2 billion rand from provincial government's infrastructure grants for building schools and hospitals. But worse than that, provinces are left to find 16 billion rand in what the government calls reprioritizations, just another euphemistic word for cuts. The message in this budget is that provincial governments are on their own in the fight against COVID-19. Speaking to the country on Tuesday, the 21st of April this year, the President promised, and I quote, an extraordinary health budget of 20 billion rand to fund the health response to coronavirus. Where is this money? It's not in the budget we're discussing today. It's nowhere to be found. The President did not say that provincial governments would have to find this money themselves. The evidence is that the President misled the country when he made that commitment. For it is certainly not been honored. There is no 20 billion for health. The second development today is the BBC's shocking exposure of what's really happening in the health system in ANC-governed provinces like the Eastern Cape. If one thought that life Esidimeni was the lowest that the ANC could go in human rights, today's revelations show that gross abuses are taking place every day in the Eastern Cape and on a much larger scale. We've seen COVID patients struggling to breathe, fighting with one another to get access to an oxygen bottle. We've seen rats drinking blood on the floor, passages flooded with brown wastewater, and doctors telling of how mothers and their unborn children are dying, waiting for medical attention. We've seen no progress in 4 months on building field hospitals. The President again last week or the other night said there's 28,000 additional beds. Another deception, I'm afraid. There are no beds. Where there are beds, they have no equipment, no staff, and no oxygen. And that is why the final event today is so important. The prospect of another bailout for SAA. This cannot be allowed to happen. Now is the time for Minister Mboweni to draw a line in the sand and refuse to fund the new SAA. He has repeatedly said that we cannot afford it and we should not do it. And yet today the ANC is likely to force him to do it. If he caves to ANC pressure now, he will have lost the battle that is the prelude to all the other battles to come. And he will have to seriously reconsider his own position in this government. We are now putting the minister on notice. Any attempt to use his emergency powers under Section 16 of the PFMA will be illegal, and we will take action to stop him. This is why I love budgets, Madam Chair. Ministers and presidents can stand on TV and at this podium and say whatever they like, but it is in the detail of the budget that their true priorities are really revealed. And today, the priorities of this government are revealed in the choice to hang provinces out to dry in the fight against COVID, and to leave patients without air, unable to breathe, dying needlessly, and instead to fund a state-owned airline vanity project instead. That is the choice this government is making. Thank you.
Thank you.